Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm super excited to be your host for this explainer. Think of this as your ultimate foundational guide, really a complete review and transfer of your computer basics for Grade 7 Information Technology. We're kicking things off with Unit 01, Computer Basics and Digital Citizenship. Let's just dive right in, because honestly, the skills you're going to build over the next few weeks, they're going to set the stage for literally everything else you do in this course. And, well, pretty much a lot of what you'll do in the real world, too.
So I want you to think about something you probably do, dozens of times a day. Have you ever stopped and wondered what actually happens when you hit send? Whether it's firing off a text to a friend, posting a photo, or finally submitting that assignment, what is the invisible digital magic happening in that split second? Most of us just expect it to work, right? But as IT students, you're about to look under the hood and see exactly how that whole shebang actually operates.
To do that, we're going to follow a neat little inside-out roadmap today. First up, hardware and software systems. Second, networks and the internet. Third, data privacy and security. And finally, number 4, responsible digital citizenship.
All right, let's get into Section 1, Hardware and Software Systems.
This right here is the absolute starting point of computing. You'll notice how our computer is divided into two halves that completely 100% depend on each other. On one side, you've got hardware. These are the physical components, the stuff you can actually lay your hands on, like the monitor you're staring at, your keyboard, the mouse, and the processor inside doing all the heavy lifting. On the flip side, we have software. These are the programs and apps giving the instructions. A keyboard literally can't do anything unless the software tells the computer how to read the keys you're pressing. For data to be collected and exchanged, these two systems have to work together perfectly.
But what happens when they don't work together perfectly? Because we all know that happens. Well, that brings us to a crucial IT superpower, troubleshooting. By definition, troubleshooting is systematically identifying and fixing problems with your computing devices and their components. Notice that word, systematically. When a device won't turn on or an app is just constantly crashing, it is so easy to get frustrated. But as IT students, you now have the mindset to take a step back, figure out exactly what's wrong, and fix it methodically.
The Computer Science Teachers Association has this brilliant analogy for this. They say you should troubleshoot like a pilot, using a pre-flight checklist. You don't just go in and randomly start mashing buttons. You follow a structured process so you don't miss the super obvious stuff. First, check your physical connections. Is it actually plugged in? You'd be amazed how often that is the only problem. Second, try swapping in working components. Headphones acting up? Plug in a different pair to see if it's the headphones or the actual computer. Third, the absolute classic, reboot the device. And fourth, check your software settings to ensure everything is configured right. Working through this checklist is going to solve the vast majority of your everyday tech headaches.
Okay, moving right along to Section 2, Networks and the Internet.
Now that we've totally mastered the device sitting right in front of us, let's zoom out. How does your single device manage to talk to billions of other devices all over the world? The secret sauce here is that computers need a shared language. In IT, we call this a protocol. Protocols are basically just the rules of the road. They define exactly how messages between completely different computers are sent, making sure they get there securely and fast. Without protocols, a laptop in New York would have absolutely zero clue how to talk to a smartphone in Tokyo. They also figure out how to handle errors, like what to do if part of your message gets lost along the way.
So let's break down exactly how that transmission works. When you hit send on a photo, it doesn't just shoot through the internet as one giant picture. Nope. Step 1. The info gets broken down into these tiny little pieces called packets. Step 2. Those packets travel totally independently through this massive, wild web of physical devices called routers and switches. They might even take completely different routes to get where they're going. And finally, Step 3. Using those protocols we just talked about, the packets are securely reassembled at the destination, so your friend sees the complete photo. That crazy complex journey happens in the literal blink of an eye.
Which brings us to Section 3, data privacy and security.
Because our devices are constantly firing off all these packets of information out into the wild, we really have to learn some defensive driving skills. Protecting our data requires a two-pronged approach. We've got to understand the difference between keeping things safe in the physical world versus the digital world. Physical security is about what you do in your actual environment. Keep your passwords hidden. Please do not write them on a sticky note and slap it on your monitor. It means locking server room doors and making physical, offline backups on external hard drives. Digital security, though, is all about the software tools we use to block unwanted access online.
That's setting up firewalls, using secure admin passwords on your routers, and making sure you're using secure protocols like HTTPS whenever you're browsing the web.
And you know what one of the most powerful digital security tools is? Encryption. Think of encryption as your own personal secret code. It's the process of applying methods, anything from a simple letter substitution trick, like a Caesar cipher, all the way up to some incredibly complex modern math algorithms to hide and secure your data. When your info is encrypted, it's completely scrambled up while it travels across the internet. So even if someone manages to intercept your packets mid-journey, it's just going to look like total gibberish to them. Only the authorized user at the very end has the specific key to decode and read it. To put that in perspective, cracking modern encryption just by guessing would take a supercomputer millions of years. No way they're getting in.
But here's where we need to have a quick, real talk about the choices you make every single day. The standards for computer science are big on this concept of trade-offs. Sharing stuff online always involves trade-offs between public visibility and private security. Every time you create a profile, post a video, or share your location, yeah, you're gaining connection and building an audience. But the trade-off? You are exposing your personal information. And a lot of security attacks start simply by harvesting the personal details people just willingly put out there for the world to see.
And that leads us directly to a very specific type of threat you absolutely need to be on guard against: social engineering. See, a lot of hackers don't even bother trying to break through your computer's shiny digital firewall. Instead, they target human psychology. They try to trick people into just handing over the keys. Two super common ways they do this are phishing, that's sending fake emails or sketchy links that look like they're from a legit company to steal your password, and spoofing, where they literally pretend to be a friend, a teacher, or someone from your bank to gain your trust. Honestly, your best defense against this isn't antivirus software. It's just having a critical, questioning mindset.
All right, final stop, Section 4, Responsible Digital Citizenship.
Because human behavior is just so central to technology, this final section is all about you and how you can use your newly acquired tech superpowers ethically. We have to realize that this isn't just theory for some test. Advancements in technology literally impact your everyday activities, your personal privacy, and without a doubt, your future career options. How you conduct yourself online, your digital footprint, it follows you. Plus, as the world changes, whether we're talking about self-driving cars or totally new social media platforms, being an informed digital citizen means you actually understand both the amazing benefits and the potential risks these technologies pose to society. So, let's wrap this up by looking at exactly what you'll be able to confidently do by the end of this unit. The goals are super clear. You're going to be able to easily identify hardware and software systems and troubleshoot them like a pro. You'll know how to effectively organize your digital files so you never lose your data again. You'll be able to explain the basics of data privacy and security, knowing exactly how packets travel and how to encrypt them. And most importantly, you will practice responsible digital behavior. These are the tools you need for the digital road ahead.
I really want to leave you with a final thought to carry into your first lesson. Now that you know how data is actually sent, how it's secured, and the real-world impact it has, how will your digital choices today shape the technology of tomorrow? You aren't just consumers of tech anymore. As IT students, you're stepping up as creators and protectors. So take these skills seriously, have an absolute blast exploring this incredible digital world, and I'll see you in the next explainer.